Singer, eternal voice. Welcome back to business. Okay. By the way, I need to discuss another sample problem regarding extraction physical separation process. Okay, one of the topics of physical and separation chemical processes unit operation, one subject related to BS Chemical Engineering curriculum. Okay? Oh my gosh. Wait for a while, I have to adjust the microphone. All right. Okay, wait for a while, guys. I have to adjust this one. Actually, I have two problems to solve. Okay. Okay. The other one is just a comparative analysis of percentage. For example, which is more efficient if we do extraction twice, thrice, having this particular volume of our organic solvent, something like that, and we need to troubleshoot which is more effective, something like that. Okay. The other one is same story. We need to calculate the weight fraction of solute in the raffinate or in the extract, something like that. Okay? So it's gonna be like that, okay? If you really understand what's the mechanics and how to solve that particular problem regarding the extraction topic, then you can understand also, okay? Okay, going back. This one. Well, guys. Hinay siya. Wait, I have to adjust. Okay. So, this one. Okay, take a look at these. Oh my god, wait. I will adjust. Kaloka. To fit my mouth to the diameter of the microphone, something like that. Hello, sound check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, sound check. Test, mic, test, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. Take a look at the problem and then try to write it down. I will give you time at least 5 minutes and then solve it by yourself also. Actually, this is not a difficult problem. Okay. I'm presenting problems, guys, that are not difficult, easy to average. I am only emphasizing the basic concept and how to solve it. It's going to be like that in different examinations. It doesn't need to be difficult all the time. Okay? You get the point? Something like majority of the questions are not difficult. Really, if you face certain examinations. Okay, sometimes also the problems are basic, okay, to solve, but then when you look at it, it is difficult to comprehend because there's a lot of data, blah blah blah, so on. So, but some data on it are irrelevant to be solved, to use that to solve the problem. Something like it's only a decoration sometimes. Okay? In fact, there are also situations, as far as I could remember in my college days, there are tables and paragraphs, but then it doesn't really need to use that sometimes. Only you can only get to given there, but not all. It's just only what do you call this one? Not really a necessity. It's just only an additional, just like a decoration. Or shall we say, it leads you to be confused sometimes because, oh my gosh, there's a lot of graph or tables, but then it will never be used. Also, there are situations like that, but admittedly, more of that are really usable. But what I'm trying to say is some, or in rare cases, have like that, especially in examinations. Okay, because the student will really think that over and over. How can we use that graph and table? Then it will spend all your time there, not knowing that those are only irrelevant in that particular problem. Me also, I'm always a victim to that when I was in college. Really, because I always think that this must have an important application or usage because it is presented in the problem, but sometimes not. And later I will realize, oh my gosh, something like when I redo the solution later on, something like that. So of course your instructors will discuss that and now you will say, oh my gosh, it's not usable. Okay, that is only irrelevant. Okay, so sometimes we need to think on what are necessary to solve the problem because it will spend time and then, for example, if the examination is time frame and then of course your time will be consumed even though you know a lot and then you will stick to one problem or two problems, then you cannot get points from other questions, in fact, which are more easy to average to solve compared to the one you solved first. Something like that. Sometimes you need to, to evaluate really, okay? Not only focusing on problems that you need really to solve because you want it correctly, but then out of a sudden, dang, already time. Okay, so pass your paper, something like that. Dinama. Okay, and then during the result, your score will be small. Okay, you'll never pass, something like that. Okay, so do not spend too much in questions that are too complicated, and then you don't have time for others. Okay, something like that. Mo yun na siyang hitabo. Okay, we should practice that also. Okay, especially if you are preparing for your board examination related with PR. So you should try to have that attitude, okay? Like that you have to keep track of all the questions. Me, in my part, when I was in college, okay, in every examination, not only in the board examination, I have to take a look at the total numbers of questions first before I start to solve. And I will check one by one the instructions. For example, if there are 5 questions, I have to take a look what are those. 1, 2, 3. Before I will start. And okay. Like then I will evaluate what among them is very easy to answer. I will go first. And then what among them are very difficult to solve? That will be the last. Okay, so I keep track of 100 problem or 100 questions. Oh my gosh. So I need to go to the most easier question, something like that. Okay. Actually, this is already a standard technique in examination. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be taught once again. Okay, like that. So it is standard of all like that. It's different story in if you that is in a written examination, but it's different in a little bit slight different in the approach of your study will be different if you will try to compete, any science or mathematics quiz bowls or science fair. Your approach will be different. Okay, something like that because that is verbal. Okay, you have to answer by math. Okay, and then sometimes you have given a sheet of paper to solve like that, and then you will show your answer to the audience, something like that. It's totally different when you are taking the written examination in a group compared to joining quiz bowls and science fair quiz. Your feelings also will be different. Okay, because there's a lot of people looking at you. Okay, something like that. I mean, you are on the center. Okay, I could not just imagine before when I joined, I joined before chemistry quiz bowl, and then I also joined in University of San Carlos, chemistry, science. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of competitors, really, in all, in all schools in whole Cebu. My gosh, I could, oh, how can I do this? So, and then, yun na. With buhay. Okay, like that. But I'll never win in that particular contest. But in our school, I'll become a champion of chemistry grade bowl. Okay, like this. So a lot will be competing really guys if you join competition, okay? Then all you have to do is to, kasi ako kasi as a student, wala akong palalampasin. Hindi ako yung tipong, palalampasin ko lang siya, gano'n. For example, if the instructors and teachers were discussing, di ba yung kanang green na board. So there are sometimes really, I'm very thankful to God. Even though they write it, it will be registered in my brain cells without writing in my notebook. So back then, I'll still write it for, maybe I will be forgetting it, something like that. And then I will write everything in my notebook, even though sometimes I get it clearly in my brain cells. Okay? But that's why, kasali na ako siya, budag ka na akong matunan kay na may mga, lecture, mga sutra dyan sa akong utok. Okay, not necessarily nga ako pa siyang tunan. May nga situations, ako ang part. Okay, that's why, hindi ka, daghan na kayo kung matigong, muna na siya ang may tabo. Dami daghan ka enumeration, essay, muli na ang akong strength, ka na yung essay o enumeration, o ka ng definition, pero i-define ba, muna siya akong mga strength. Not really problem solving, kaya I hate problem solving really. I don't want. My gosh. Okay. So, wala man ko yung choice kaya engineering, a lot of problem solving ba yagod siya. Now to, when I was in first year college, I need to, I need to adapt the culture. Because I cannot do anything, right? And then my course really pushed me to do a lot of problem solving, more than the theories, really. More than the theories. But me, I am more than on theories. But when I studied in our school, in Cebu Institute of Technology, that was not yet a university before, and now university already. Okay, I don't love really to solve problems, really. And then that was my turning point. First year college and until now, so I started loving it. Solving problems, really. But actually, when I started in my elementary and high school, I don't like really to solve problems. For me, it's very difficult headache. So, dali kayo kung maglibo. Okay? Muna siya na tabo. Pero gusto ko siya ko memorize. Okay? So, kung gusto ko nga, sa akin, gusto din ako doon ako sa kalibro kung as much as I could. Muna siya. Okay? Nagamit siya ang memorize, pilit mo sa brain cells. Okay, himo na mo ng stock knowledge. Hindi ka abot mo sa mga first year college, second year college, third year college. Kung ano siya, guys, advantage kayo mag-memorize siya kapag ayo. Di ba? So, bisag hindi siya itudlo, kanang related na ganit siya, ino na siyang pinaan pag ayo. Okay, naman. Okay, going back. Sige mo na siya. Nagbinisaya na siya ko, Bisaya-English combination. Okay, I will read the question. Please listen carefully. 100 ml of binary mixture of toluene and water. Toluene is an organic solvent, which is more efficient, extracting once with 500 milliliter of toluene or extracting 5 times with 100 ml toluene each time. Use partition coefficient is equal to 3. By the way, class, when we mean of partition coefficient, this will also mean distribution coefficient. Okay, this is literally the same. So do not be confused for this. And this is more applicable in special chocolate extraction, liquid extraction in unit operations. The descriptive title is Physical and Chemical Separation Process, if you'll be able to take Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. Okay? It's gonna be like that. So you think, because there's a lot of, coefficient, chuva, especially in the transport phenomena. Okay, unit operations, also another unit operations. So there's a lot of coefficient, right? Mass transfer, momentum transfer. Also this extraction has also distribution coefficient and partition coefficient. And this is also related to activity coefficient when we talk about concentrations. Okay, pag mixtures, guys, are solutions. So what will come on our mind is really the concentration and the solubility. So it could not be denied when you think about concentration and solubility, there is really an activity coefficient. Okay, and if you go to extraction, this activity coefficient is related to or directly proportional to the partition coefficient and the distribution coefficient. Now, what's the technique here in the examination? The technique here, guys, it doesn't need necessarily to be mentioned in the problem. For example, here, if they say activity coefficient, you can also use that as your partition coefficient because they are directly proportional with each other. Okay, so don't be confused because sometimes examinations are using different terms or different terminologies that have the same meaning, something like that. And if you are used to that kind of specific term that your instructors are always using in the sample problems, then in the future, nga. Okay, nga jud ka. Okay, that's why you need to be, you have to be resourceful to think of another terminology that refers to the same thing. Just like this, partition coefficient is the same as distribution coefficient. Sometimes it could also be named as activity coefficient because these are dealing with concentration and solubilities. Because as all we know, based on the discussion of 2 days ago, in the past discussion, extraction really is a physical separation process that deals with its solubilities and concentration. Okay, if you remember, distillation is based on volatilities and boiling points. But here, based on solubilities and concentration, and take note, this will be more applicable at low temperature. Okay, why? Why at low temperature? Because at high temperature, your concentration changes. As I told you over and over again in our chemistry lecture, okay, chemistry lecture, general chemistry lecture 2, I think 2, yes. Temperature has the highest influence or great influence in your concentration. It will really alter your composition and concentration if you increase the temperature. Now, if you increase the temperature of this liquid extraction, so it will alter the composition of your feed. So that's why this extraction topic and subject is subjected to low temperatures, not high temperatures. So that is the first requirement when we deal of liquid extraction or extraction process. Okay? Mungkin atong patisok sa atong brain cells. Oh, because temperature can affect the solubility and your concentration of your solution and your mixture. It doesn't matter whether it is a heterogeneous solution or homogeneous solution or homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. Okay, so like that. Okay, we'll just treat our knowledge here, guys, that mixture is just the same as solution, huh? Okay, because actually there's a little or slight difference. When can we say a term mixture and when can we say a term solution? Okay, so sometimes you will be confused with what is really the difference between mixture and a solution. Actually, there's a slight difference, and I don't want to mention that one. Research that for yourself because our topic is extraction. Okay, so there's a difference between solution and mixture, but the connotation is just basically the same, or the philosophy is just basically the same. Okay, gonna be like that. Okay. Ganun siya. Magsugod na tag, solve guys. Ang galing ka. Minun sa kong copy, I want to activate my brain cells. Sarap. Okay. Mag-ginaak ang atong kuan mga, what do you call this one? Activators. Wow. Activators talaga siya. Okay. Okay guys, ang solve na tao para madali. Sarap. And I don't want to stand. I want to sit, okay? Because, oh my gosh, I just turned off my microphone. Charot! Kaloka? Kapit ka just adjust ko yun. Fairness. Oh my gosh. Hello guys! Mag-solve na ta. Kaya mo dyan ang kinabuhi sa mga engineer. Mag-solve dyan siya. Okay? We cannot deny it. Okay? Ganon. It's gonna be like this one, ha? Okay? Oh, lisod kayo i-adjust guys. Oy, fairness. Sarap. Kaloka. Go dyan. Kaya mo yan. Sarap. Ganon. Diba? Oh my gosh. Because I want to sit. Okay? Ganon. O, diba? ba? Gusto ko makaupo. Okay. Hindi ko angay mag-maestro. Kakapuyo mo ako magbaro. Wow. Lagi. Oh. Oh, di ba? Nahulog na akong microphone. In fairness. Okay, guys. I don't want to hold the microphone, really, because I want to use my other hand in taking up the pen or, taking up the sheet of paper. That's also one of the purpose why I buy this microphone stand. Really, okay? Not only for singing, okay? Multiple purpose. Charot. Okay? Nakakaloka. Sige, kaya mo yan. Okay, adjust mo lang dito. Okay, my gosh. Oh, di ba? Bongga! Wow. Hello guys! Hello world! Hello Philippines! Hello other parts of the world! This is again, I am a singer, eternal voice. This is my YT channel. Welcome to my YT world. This is again a YouTube content creator, small YouTuber, and social media influencer, engineer, Sotero, Nepomuceno Jr. Woo! Ganon. Okay. So the first step in problem solving is you have to distinguish or you need to identify what is the purpose of the problem and then what is being asked or what is being required so that you can establish what are the appropriate formulas and equations to be used, something like that. Then write down all the data, okay, and then get the equations appropriate. We mean by appropriate, the usable, that is applicable for a particular problem, something like that. And then we need to illustrate if necessary, because sometimes we cannot understand very well if we don't draw and if we don't have schematic diagram or any flowcharts or any drawing, right? So that we can imagine what's going on. Something, and we can really solve easily, having that comprehensive analysis how to solve the problem. Sometimes also there are problems that you don't need to draw. For example, if we are on the topic of, if you can remember about ideal gas laws, there are a lot of laws right there. We have the Boyle's law, Charles law, the Gay-Lussac law, the ideal gas law. We don't need to draw, because it's very, very submutable. That's gonna be like that. P1, P2, T1, T2, V1, V1, and then you will be able to troubleshoot only what is being held constant. It could either be the temperature, the volume, and the pressure. And then you need to get the combined gas law equation, something like that. It's very easy, right? Sorry. Ligkas kong baba. Okay, actually it's not that easy, okay? But what I mean, if you inject that in your brain cells, it depends on the person, right? Because for me, I can say easy because my course is really related to science, right? But what if others are not related to science, right? So they could not also be comfortable in saying that. Okay, but in my part, I could say, bunog na magugay siya. Okay, since first year call out. Since high school pa gani siya, nanamagay imong ani. Muna siya nga, kani siya mga Boyle's law, Charles law, Dalton's law, gas law, ganun. Nalagay na siya sa akong brain cells. Okay, in my part only, okay? Like that. So, I will encourage you to do that also. Especially high school students in front of me, that it's really a must, guys, to understand and to memorize a lot. Okay? But do not attempt to memorize if you cannot understand, because it will be lost. Okay? Like me, I'll start memorizing when I was in elementary. Okay, the conversion factors, mga metric system, hindi ako nang siya nag-memorize ng notebook. Mapalit ako mama og notebook, pobre man mi kayo, palit og notebook. And then, did ko ma-interest sa mga actors and actress in the cover. Mag-interest ko sa luyo. Ito na yung multiplication table. Okay, ako i-memorize sa mga conversion factor na 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. Okay, 1 inch, mga ganun siya. Equals to 2.54 centimeter, mga ganon. Okay, 1 mile is equals to 5,280 feet. 1 ton is equals to 2,000 pound. And that is a short metric ton. One long ton is equal to 2,200 pounds. Hanggang ganun siya, and a whole lot more. Okay, then ako na siyang carry over when I was in first year college. And then going to 50 college na. Hindi na kayo maglisod. Okay, because na may naka-stat. And then, napunan lang siya ng mga difficult ng mga pang-engineering na yun when I was in my college. So that would be an advantage that you will start understanding and memorizing at your early age. Okay, elementary level or grade school level, because our minds at that time is very fresh. So if you accumulate information, the chance is it will retain more. Okay, it will be accumulated more rather than, late na ka naging anak, so mura pressure. Something like that, okay? So it's gonna be like that, right? And this is really a natural phenomena. Wow, phenomena. Kakaloka. Okay? So, ganon. So, what is being asked is, which is more efficient? When you talk about efficient, by the word itself, it is a root word of efficiency. Okay? Which is more efficient? Sometimes you need to be clever in English. Okay? Grammar. Okay? Because if you are very poor in grammar, sometimes you cannot understand. Okay? Like this. Which is more efficient? It looks like the answer is in English also, but it needs mathematical operation to do this. Okay, so efficient is a root word of efficiency. Now, what are those equations related to efficiency? We have in physics, okay, mechanical advantage is equals to the work output divided by work input times 100. So those are mga efficiency chuba. And there's a lot of efficiency equations also, especially in the second law of thermodynamics. Second law, this Clapeyron, right? The principle of, heat combustion engine. Okay, the efficiency there is different. Wow, let's say, work is being released, or work is being absorbed times 100. It's gonna be heat released over heat absorbed times 100. It could be temperature output over temperature input times 100%. So, imo na siyang ganun-ganun kay kung ano na siya, steady state, something like that. So, makaingon ka ang temperature equal to work, equal to, ganun-ganun siya, heat. Manang ingana lagi siya ang Fermi ang formula. So, imo na dyan i-determine ang exothermic reaction at endothermic reaction. Okay? Mo na siya hitabo. In short, percentage is what being asked here. Okay, which is more efficient, extracting ones with 500 ml or extracting with 100 ml, something like this. Okay, so efficiency, percentage efficiency. Okay, not only related to machineries or equipment, it could be also in different physical chemical separation processes such like this, or in the distillation also have. Okay, percentage of your distillation efficiency. Ganon. Okay, so, katong kuha na ta, solve na ta. Okay, so what comes in our mind? Efficiency, right? And then, last 2 days ago ba to guys? Ituluan ta mo, o mga formulas. So, mag-solve ta kay, K man siya, na may K gihatag. Okay, ato yung ang given. So, K, charot, is equals to 3. Okay, now, 100 ml guys. Okay, what can you understand about 100 ml here? Okay, so 100 ml is your V1. Okay, meaning it is your liquid, your total mixture. Okay, so 100 ml binary mixture. So this does not specify to toluene either water. This is specifying the total volume of the mixture. Okay, so in here, in extraction, we always define that as a V2. Okay, something like, V1. V1 siya. Kalita kayo ko na akong brain cells. V1 siya kay, okay. V1, based on my memory recall. Our brain also is just like a calculator. Okay, memory in, memory recall, something like that. Okay? Memory recall. Okay, we treat this as our V1. Okay? Natay V1 nga 100 ml. Okay. And then guys, if you really understand what you are doing, and then if you understand really the topic, it's very, very fun to solve. Okay? And it is very enjoyable to solve problems if you really understand. Okay? And if you love also that subject or topic, something like that. Okay? So, ganon siya. Now, 5 times. What does indicate 5 times? Okay, 5 times. Meaning to say, how the frequency of your extraction process. So 5 times. Okay? Okay, that is frequency. How often, okay, you do it in, for example, doing that in cycles per second, okay, in how many times you do it, okay, like that, okay. So it involves, of course, time, okay, rate, R-A-T-E, okay, then ganon siya. Now, with 100 ml tuluene each time, so this 100 ml of tuluene, we will say this, that is our V2. Okay? So atong hinumduman guys, pagaw ko no, because I'm saying yesterday. Okay, V2, we should think that this always specifying to the organic solvent. Okay, because normally guys, liquid extraction, a lot of organic solvent will be added because the natural physical characteristic of those organic substances will yield really a solute in the product. And then it will really have the extract in the product. That's why organic solvents are always added apart from water. Okay, as you can observe, right? We have a lot. Let's say, chloroethane, mga ganon, cyclohexane, okay, trichloromethane, ganon. Okay, toluene, benzene, acetone, chloroform, methyl chloride, and a whole lot more. Okay, so you should also recall your organic chemistry here. Okay, so V2, ganon. V2 is 100 ml. Because I don't have to derive again for the equation because I already presented it a while ago, right? I don't want to become redundant in my vlogging and live streaming that I keep on repeating. Okay, if you're just following me, I already presented my derivation in my other parts of my vlogs or in my live streamings. So I will go directly to the derived equation and derived formula, right? Because it will also take time to derive again the same. Okay? So sa mga nagsubaybay, mudit sura ko ha. Okay, then if you really want me to derive, then you can chat me in my FB Messenger. Then I can have a special vlog for you. Okay? Something like that. Just like singing songs when somebody will request me songs to sing, I will be doing that for them. It's just like that also. Okay? Ganon. Okay. Now, mudritso ko guys. So atong hinumduman guys nga ang solubility is directly proportional to the concentration. Because pareho rin din siya. And the solubility and concentration is directly proportional to the temperature. Okay? Ganun siya. One requirement of our how slow or fast our chemical reaction really is. This is now kinetics. Chemical reaction kinetics. Mo gina siya premium sa kinetics, no? Okay, na mga first order, second order, third order. Related lang sa siya sa extraction kaya naman yung mga concentrations. And then related siya sa mass transfer because it involves concentrations. Mga ganun siya. I-connect mo siya ha. Okay? Clear? Try to connect mass transfer, reaction kinetics, and here, specifically extraction, release, and concentration, guys. Okay? Muna yung may tabo. Okay? So now, so ato pong hinumduman guys nga mo-treat lang yung permi nga ideal siya solution. So sa mo itong ideal solution theory? Anybody? What are the requirements of an ideal solution? Unsa man? Okay? If we speak about ideal solution, one requirement that is our compressibility factor Z is equal to 1. Or our activity coefficient alpha is equal to 1. But this activity coefficient alpha is more related to the solution and mixture of liquid solids like that. But this compressibility factor equal to what is more applicable on gases, ideal gases. That's only separate the concept among them. But it has the same purpose, the ideality of the substance, a mixture, something like that. Okay? It's very clear now. That's why when we use the ideal gas law, it is expected to be that your compressibility factor, Z, is equal to 1. Now, if you will use also the ideal mixture, such like this, problem chuba-chuchu, mixture, chuba-chuchu, okay? So the activity coefficient is alpha is also equal to 1. Mahibawaan mo ang 1 ang alpha, guys, because it is usually have a strong electrolytic solution. Wow. Strong electrolyte. It will completely dissolved into aqueous solution. Because weak electrolytes or weak solution like that, it will not dissolve completely. Something like that in your solution, something. The solute will not dissolve completely in your solution. The solute we are referring here is the electrolyte. Okay, solute is general, electrolyte is specific. So that is for salt, S-A-L-T. Okay, get the point? Okay, we have also non-electrolytes, specifically the sugar that is non-electrolyte. Okay, it will not dissociate. If you try to mix sugar and water, it will never separate. Okay, and it will never, it will never dissolve. It will dissolve, but the spreading of the mixture is not very even compared to the salt. That's the point. Okay, electrolyte mo dyan ang salt. Okay? Siya may tabo. Dugay juga siya i-dissolve, si kakutaw. Okay? Mukuan siya sa bottom ang sugar. Sink siya. And then mo siya kutawon pag ay para mo completely dissolve. You need extra effort compared to the salt. I-try na good ang asin ang salt. Okay, when you do a brine solution is a mixture of water and salt. That is brine solution. Okay, B-R-I-N-E. Okay, try to have a very, very easy experimentation. Try to have a glass of water, 2 glasses of water, and then 1 sample is sugar. Sugar is carbon 12, H22O11. Okay, the sucrose. Okay, muna siya ang sugar that we buy in the market, the refined sugar. And try to compare that when you do a live experiment, which among them will dissolve faster. Okay, and talk to me later, which is more, which is more fast. Okay, the salt solution or the sugar solution. Okay, like that. If the sugar solution will dissolve fast, meaning you make too much stir also with the sugar, so do it in simultaneous. Okay, simultaneous in the same manner. Para dili siya unfair. Because if you try to extra effort in, stirring with the sugar, of course it will dissolve completely compared to the salt. Because it depends also in the energy involved, your internal and external energy. Okay? Non-spontaneous reaction na siya. Okay? Okay, nag-apply naman dito mga energy chuva-chuchu. Okay? Now, kung natural lang gini mong pagtuyok sa kutsara, okay, the salt will dissolve faster than sugar because salt is electrolyte. Okay, strong electrolyte. Something like that. Okay? Get the point? Muna siya yung mahitabo. Muna siya ang identification, guys, na ang electrolytes, dali na dyan kayo siya ma-expel as waste in our body. It's always the source that comes out first. And take note, the sugar will remain. That's why people have higher blood sugar because the sugar really is not very soluble to water. You cannot expel that directly in our excretory system. That's the main reason it will remain in our system. Okay? And then it can cause higher cholesterol level also because sugar is a constituent component of a cholesterol substance. Okay, the more you eat sugary and sweet substance, the more it will increase your cholesterol level because sugar is directly related to cholesterol. Okay, so one component or raw material of a cholesterol is a sugar. So it's dependent. That's why
magkuan na siya. Tuloy-tuloy na gyud siya kung gusto ko mo tamis, mutaas ko rin mo cholesterol. It doesn't necessarily mean that only meat, MEAT, that can cause higher cholesterol. Meat and sugar can cause higher cholesterol level. Okay, and sugar, as far as I can remember, it was labeled as the most killer substance in the whole world. Killer, meaning it can kill a person. Okay, compared to meat, based on the study of Harvard University Public School of Health. Ako na siyang nabasa before. Okay, sugar is deadly compared to meat. Okay? Although these are two are dangerous, but if you try to compare the two, sugar is more deadly. Okay? That's I try to connect that one because I tell you that sugar will not dissolve faster compared to the salt. Okay? That's why when we do the exercise, what's being lost in our body, in our system, is always the salts, electrolytes that will be removed. That we need to replenish or replace that by taking water, okay, juice or whatever drinks, energy drinks, because it replaces the electrolytes we lost during walking, during running, during biking, during jogging. So it's gonna be like that. The sugar will remain. Though sometimes will be flushed, but what I mean, still have sugar will penetrated in our system. So, muna siya naitabo. Muna salbahe siya siyang sugar, mabiling good siya. Okay? Charot. Okay? Ganon. Okay? And that's the reason also I limit sugar. Okay? Muna siya, buhay siya kayo. Okay, so partition coefficient K is equal to, diretso ta guys ha? Okay. K, diretso kayo oras, tabihan mo kayo. K is equals to V1 over V1 plus partition coefficient times V2. Muna gano'n siya ipasok sa inyong brain cells ha? Kani siya nga formula. Guys, di ba gina-memorize na namin sa na gani? I will give you technique. Memorization sometimes will not be accumulated if there are a lot of variables. It will be missed. Okay? Ang katulad yung mga common kayo ang dali kayo na itong memorize. For example, pressure is equals to force over area, density is equals to mass over volume, ganun siya. Concentration is equals to the number of moles over the volume, ganun siya nga chuba-chucho. Okay? And then kung makalimot po ka guys, ang unit din siya yung basihan per me. For example, na ako, force. Okay, how can I get the mass from force? Hinunduman din mo sa katungkuan, second law of Isaac Newton in physics. Force is equals to mass times acceleration. Therefore, mass is equals to force over acceleration. So, ang imong i-memorize ang usara, ang force equals to mass times acceleration. Kaya tuyok naman na nimo sa algebraic expression, makuha na nimo ang mass ng acceleration. Mura na yung ipilit sa imong brain cells. Okay? Ganon. Okay, so if that is the case, na yung nga chuba-chuchu, makuha sa mo ang weight. Because ang weight is directly related to force because downward force man siya. Okay, so gravitational. Okay, so we need to say, ang F, pwede sa lang siya mahimo ni mo weight. Kay Newton man sa ang unit sa weight. Okay? Because of gravitational force man siya, downward directed to the ground. Okay, muna natin yung 21 meter per second squared, 32.2 pound per second squared, ganun. Okay, 32.2 feet per second squared, sorry. Like that, muna siya yung mga constant chuba-chucho. Okay? Now, muna siya yung tabo nga, ano yung force? Mahimasa na siyang weight. So, we can say pala, weight is equals to the mass times the acceleration pull. Okay? Like that. Pero ang inong acceleration yung gamitin din, kato ng G. Though, pareho na din siya unit, G na nanimo ka, small letter G ba? Kaya ang A katong A nga, kuan dyan siya nga, applicable not only referring to the gravitation, katong mga acceleration nga, kuan mo ang bula, i-drop mo sa cliff, mga projectile motion, distance, speed mo siya sa physics, di ba? Ang acceleration niya kay dili man directed lang sa downward, pwede man sa mga vertical, incline, dito mo tuma-apply nimo ang A nga acceleration. Pero mo lang gyapon ang value. Okay? Pero ang katong akong giningan, mass times G, specifically just of the downward movement. G equal to 9.81 equals sa A. Subscribe na gulang diferensya na. Mas ang kanang A nga gamay guys, general ra gyud siya sa tanan. Ang kanang G specific ra gyud siya sa kanang downward motion ba, directed downward in imong force. Okay, kay usahay man gud ang problem na mutana sa weight. Nga maglibog mga uban kay wa bay weight didto. Kay nimo gisaligad sa weight kanara ba yung kilogram, gram, pa sa minimo ba na siyang newton. You got the point? Nakakaloka, di ba? Okay? Nakakuha mo? Charot! Di ba? O, sige, atong reviewon. Force is equals to mass times acceleration from the second law of motion ni Isaac Newton sa physics. Okay, now, we can say that also that weight is equals to mass times acceleration nga G ang atong A instead ni A. Now, kanawar ito multiply mo, mahimo man na siyang mass. Ang mass nimo diba kilogram, yung acceleration is meter per second. Mahimo man na siyang Newton, kay Newton kilogram meter per second squared man. But take note, we are using now W, not the F. So meaning to say, we can compute the weight, okay, same as the force. So dili siya literal ang problem. So, ang uban maglibog man, including me before when I was young, maglibog pod ko when I was in high school. Ako na siyang gituki, ngano jud. Okay? But I already memorized when I was in elementary the formula of the weight and the force. Kinaaman po na sa elementary, mga grade 6 siguro or grade 5. Tudlo man po na siya mga maginihini ang tudlo mga maestra ka ng mga basic education ba? Di ba? If you can remember ka ng mga sayo na kayo ng mga formula, tudluan ka. Nga mo na mabalik-balik sa school na napod sa chemistry, sa physics. Nang murag masudod si mga una kung mauna dyan na permi. Dili na mo ni nyuriyahon permi. Okay, now, like me, ako nakikumpidad. Okay, so napasok na gid siya sa akong brain cells. Okay, until my last breath. Charot. Okay, ganun siya. If you understand what you are memorizing, nag-start ka in a very young age. Okay? Ay, yung kumpiyansa if you really want to become a registered professional someday. Tinawag din sa mga examinations. Okay? Okay, going back. Kaya na naman tayo formula nga K is equals to V1 over V1 plus K times V2. Substitute na lang din siya, guys. Okay. Now, atong V1, kaya naman tanga 100 ml. So, start sa first option nga kung 5 times. Okay. Atong i-substitute ang K ani ang higayuna. So ano na to? Okay. Adjun mo kalibog ka kay narapin nga na bitik ra. Okay? Sige ingon ay mo kalibog pero ako kung libogon. Really? Okay? For the purpose of discussion lang good. My gosh. Nakakaloka. Diba? Okay. Na atong sugdon ha. So, K. Naman tayo K nga, pila ba itong kininigayon na? Charot. So, if this is the case, we can also say that K is Q, right? Q. Nganong i-Q man ako? Yes. Okay, because we don't want to have duplication of our entry in our formula. Niliho pa sila akong brain cells. Okay? So, nga ang situation kasi kung nagkita yung mga formulas, i-investigate gid mo, wabay nagkapariha. Okay, ganun. Ano na siya, uy? Okay? Kaya, during my investigation, there's a redundancy of the entries of the variable. So, I need to, what's happening here? So, since sure ko sa K, naging na siya sa denominator, so, okay, that's Q. Ganun ba? Okay, nga na siya pero sa imurang ma-recall, flash na sa imong memory ba, mo na siya. Okay? Pero dili man gud tanan ning anak ko, namin hinay man ko, di ba? So, I don't know what to call. I don't want to comment further. Kailangan mo dyan hinayon po good. Hindi dyan kayo makakuan dayon ba? Sige lang. So, all we have to do is to study lang yun. Okay? So, kinamagay ko ng uban kung masagin study na, di dyan siya masudsad ba? Okay, then mawala ko dayon sa ilang brain cells, gano'n. Okay, so, di dyan na to siya maparihatanan, di ba? Though, we teach, we share, naman ang mga technique. Kinamagay ko ng lahit sa dyan ba? Leveling of the mental ability is not the same. Okay, na yung mga bracketing, high, superior, average, above average, lower average, gano'n, below average. Lagi ka itong purple siya. Okay, then lisod po siya. Wala lisod kayo i-manage, pero kung magtudlo ka, pero sige na lang, kayo mag-yun may tabo. Naaman jud, okay? Pero madarong mo nagkuan gudtoon. Okay? Sa kong pamilya, madarong ginagtuon. Ako ito, di ko bright of math. Pero nung madaman lagi. Okay, so Q is equals to V1 over V1 plus K V2. I-substitute na nila to guys ha. Atong V1 inihigayon na is 100 ml. Okay. Over 100 ml plus K ang dimension theory is 3 times V2 nga niingon ta nga atong V2 ang chuluhin. So muna siya na i-value ang chuluhin nga pilang na yung value sa chuluhin 100 ml. Diba? Okay. Sa ari ka sa first case pa. So 500 lang sa siya, no? Okay. Muna siya ang first case ha. Tanawa guys. Kita niyo? Klaro na siguro akong penmanship. Okay, muna siya ako i-substitute first sa 500 lang sa muna itong first option. Ako i-compare which is more efficient talaga siya. Okay? Ganun. So, you calculator please. Sometimes kung kamao na yung mag-theory, pwede na mo dili i-solve ha kung which is more efficient. Pero ako wala pang kakibaw sa good. Siguro makibaw ko on the spot now if I try to equate and then I have a relationship, but that is not my purpose. My purpose now is to solve man talaga siya. Okay? Not explaining on the relationship chuba. That would be another topic, right? Okay? So, muna siya metabo. So, 3 times 500 equal to plus 100 equal to 1/6. 100 divided by 1/6 is equals to 0.0625. Since this is percentage, because efficiency, we need to multiply that by 100. Okay? Efficiency man siya. So, ano siya? So, 0.0625 times 100% is equal to 6.25%. So, it would be 6.25% efficient. Okay, if you use a volume of 100. 500 ml of toluene in your first extraction. And second extraction will be 100. So let's say, so with the same V1 ha, because that is our V1, the mixture volume. Okay, now 100. Di ba mag-send siya kanawang? 100 plus 3 times 100. Okay. Sino ito siya tanaw pero sometimes imujung no naon, di ba? So 3 times 100 is equals to plus 100 is equals to 400. Now 100 divided by 400 0.25 lang siya. Wow. So 0.25 times 100% is equals to pila man siya. Okay. Dako siya no. So 103 times 100. Okay, 300 plus 100 is equals to 400. 100 divided by 400 is equals to 25% siya, dako siya. So we can say our comparative analysis that we can have an effective extraction process by using 100 ml of toluene. This is it, first time lang siya. Now for 5 times, because there's still 5 times. Be careful also for the problem, there's 5 times. So 0.625 times 5 times. This is 31.25% already. Muna siya ang analysis part na siya. Okay? Because, there's a condition here. See? Which is more efficient? Extracting once with 500 ml of toluene or extracting 5 times with 100 ml of toluene each time used like that. So, we will multiply by 5 times pa. Okay? So, no need to go further because already dako na siya in the first extraction process. Okay? We obtain already 25% by using 100 ml toluene. So, why asking more for 5 times for toluene? So, bitik na po siya for examinees and, examinees and students. Okay, again, the question says, which is more efficient? Extracting once with 500 ml toluene or extracting 5 times with 100 ml toluene each time, the volume changes only. Now, he said 5 times, but this 5 times is in 100 ml. And in our solution here, we get already higher than the 500 ml, which is extracting only 1 time. So there's no reason anymore to say, to compare to 5 times, because in first extraction pa lang sa 100 toluene, dako na siya daan compared to 500 ml. So, may but pasabot ni ini. So meaning to say, this 5 times really a tricky statement, because in the first place, even if you extract these 2 scenarios in one time, we can say technically that using 100 ml toluene for the first time is higher already, more efficient already than 500. Then what's the use of saying or extracting 5 times? It will be more than. So things like this. So meaning to say, this 5 times looks like a vague term, meaning a confusing term to students and examiners, because in the first place, no need man i-5 times din mo, kaya efficient man yun siya, bisag 1 time pa lang yung buhaton ang extra ka 100 ml of toluene, di ba? Ganun mga mga analysis, right? So it's very necessary. Okay? Like that. Okay? Then kung kung ka na magbutikaw, ikaw ka sa examination, butikaw, ikaw, wala na kay time. Imo mang ikwanan nga, ay pamahala na lang nga, wala hurat na yung oras. Kaya ningon na siya nga 5 times, right? So, mag-multiply na yun ka. 5 times. Kaya mo sa each time ro na 500. So, ako din siya i-multiply 5 to 100. So, equal siya 500. So, imo i-answer ani niya, equal. Either equal or dako. Higher pa siya sa katong extra ka 500. Because wala na kay time, mag-guess na lang bitaw ka. Okay, ginamang kay 5 diri ani nga 5 times. Of course, i-multiply na nimo siya sa volume. So 5 times 100 ml, equal mo siya sa 500 ml na tuluin nga mo imong extract for the first time. So equal siya sa mga mong first options. Equal ang iyang efficiency kung wa ka mag-solve. Right? Nahulot ay mong oras ba? Kani ba rin mong last question sa 100 question, wala na kailangan paagi, kaya di nakaka-compute. Okay? So, magbana-bana na lang din ka. Or either, naman ka, mas tako yun siyang 100 ml kay 5 times good. Okay? So, mo sa nini answer na mas efficient yun ang 100 ml tuluene kay 5 times man siya. So, correct kung ka, though wala nimo gisolve. Anak na siya mga situation. Pero magbantay ka kayo, mga wrong kung ka sa anak kay good lang na siya kung matayning. Okay, matayning ba sa problems? What if dili siya matayning, marong dayon ka? And it's very easy to solve. You get the point? But sometimes, interpretation also can matters. Sometimes, but not all the time. Okay, na ikatanaw pa lang nimo, may bawang din mo ba? Ma-feel da yun mo, murag mo psychologize ka ba? Something like that. Kasi di pa ka mo solve, murag feel na gini mo nga ma-out ko kay tungod siya yung mga quantities, murag mo justify na mo na siyang ikuan mo sa imong brain cells, na dili na necessary mo solve, na may nga nga situation. Okay, basta na mga normality, di ba? N1 V1 is equals to into V2 ka na mga solution 1, solution 2. May buwan man mo kay naman nga directly proportional, inversely proportional. Unya, mga choices dito kay puros inversely, dili siya directly, so makakuha na ka directly na answer, directly proportional kay bisa di pa ka ma-solve. You get the point? Ay klaro man kay sa choices. Okay, there's solution 1, there's a solution 2. If you add a concentration like this, nakibaw man ka nga mag-solve ka na, kaya naman siya formula, right? Sa concentration. And then kibaw man ka sa mga relationship between the volume and the concentration. What will happen of the volume if you increase the concentration? What will happen to the concentration if you increase the volume? Kung nanan mo sa imong concepts sa imong brain cells, makibaw jud ka generally what's happening. Ang disadvantage lang ang niya ng higayuna if the choices are balanced. Now, if the choices are usara siya malahi, and the rest are taas, usaray malahi, then kibaw ka sa proportionality nga mo, gamay ang volume, kung taas ang concentration. Ikato yung mong i-answer katong usa, even if dili pa ka mag-solve. You get the point? So na mga nga po ng mga question na madala rin siyang tamban-tamban through the pagkakasaglabi na wala na kay oras. Okay, muna siya may public. Di lang kayo patakalang pagbutik-butik ko. At least, if nagbutik-butik ko, mas closer siya sa reality. Okay? butikaw, butikaw, ikaw may tawagan iba. Butikaw, butikaw, ikaw, ganan. Sa akin, naman siya A, B, C, D, E nga mga choices. Okay? Ganan. So, any questions so far for this discussion? Very easy, right? Okay. Nagkamali na ang dila ko. Okay, so ano siya, okay lang siya, diba? Not complicated. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. If you are not subscribing my channel, then you can subscribe and you can comment down below in the comment section. And you can click also the notification bell for some newest updates of I Am a Singer, Eternal Voice, my vlogs, and my live streams are all about OSH, science, chemical engineering, pure sciences, personal vlogging also, and then singing. Okay, so bye-bye everybody. God bless. See you later. Wow. Charot. Kaloka.